Hello and welcome to the third installment of the FIPWiSE and Fearless podcast. Our guest today is the wonderful Reenu Yadav. Reenu, welcome to FIPWiSE and Fearless. How are you?
Thank you so much, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you so please, much Claire.
Thank you so much, Dr. Claire, and thanks for having me here. I'm really very excited and yet nervous at the same time.
Oh, please don't be nervous. Reenu, tell us a bit about what you do now, your career pathway. How did you get here?
Yeah, actually, if you ask me that question, how did I get here? So I have to start from my childhood. Should I? If you allow me?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You're our guest.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So talking about my childhood days, I was very much fond of fashion and everything. But as you know, I basically belongs to a small town. I'm basically a small town girl. I was living at a small town at my childhood, and there I never heard the term women empowerment, and I was not even knowing about that term. So the decision maker of our family was my father. The male of the family used to be the decision maker. So at that time, when I was interested in the more in the fashion rather than my studies, so my father at that time suggested me because at that time society was thinking that having a beautiful face or having a charming personality is not enough. You has to have a good career first. A female should have a good career first. So I opted for the pharmacy profession as my father suggested me, and after that I went for the graduation in pharmacy. After that I went for MBA in HR, that is human resource management, and I joined a government firm as a post of a manager. But with that, I got married. At that time, my family and my husband was priority for me. So I left that job. And after that, my family suggested me that a teaching profession is a noble profession, and this is one which is better for the females. So I again followed their advice and joined PG course in the pharmaceutical sciences, and I did my MPhil from there. And from there, my lust for research has been started. And after that, I have joined as assistant professor in a private college. And again, I went for my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. I completed my PhD on the topic of herbal formulation development. And from there, my journey as a researcher has been started. So this is all about my this career. And yes, how can I forget? I joined one university as Dean Student Welfare, which was one of the, there I was having a versatile job of student welfare and girl student welfare. So I managed it very nicely. And during last lockdown, during last year in 2020, where all the world was in the shock due to the corona pandemic, and we were locked in the situation of we followed a lockdown on that time. So I was also at home, but I utilized that time in the my skill development and learning so many arts, and I was conducting so many webinars on the global platform. So that efforts gave me a promotion. Actually, I was offered a job of a principal in a college. So I joined. Now I am working as a principal in a pharmacy college. And till now, this is my story or my career path. And I'm happy with that, whatever I achieved in my life, and looking forward for the more.
Fantastic. So it sounds like the pandemic has actually had some positives for you.
Yes. This pandemic, I face lots of challenges in this pandemic, but overall, it ended with a positive note for me.
Oh, fantastic. And you're a woman of many talents. Is it true that you're a former Miss India?
Yes, I was former Mrs. India.
Oh my goodness. How did that happen? How did you get involved in that? What did you learn about yourself along the way?
Yes, Dr. Clary, as I told you, my lust for being in a what I can say in the glamour world doesn't stop by my father's decision. At the age of 36 and 37, I decided to pursue my dreams. I wanted to fulfill my dreams. I wanted to wear a gown like a princess. I wanted to walk the ramp. So when I fulfill my all duties, as I think, I settled my family. I was good at job. But that lust of being a glamour girl was still there. So I decided to participate in a beauty pageant. But as you know, the image of a professor is quite a bit different from image of a beauty pageant contestant. So I thought this both the images will not go hand in hand. They are mutually exclusive. I feel so. So I tried hard to transform myself from a professor to a beauty pageant what I can say participants. So at that time, I did lots and lots of trials in many dresses. I learned many things. I transformed myself from a professor to a beauty pageant contestant, and then I started. At that time, I had a fear. Here, I want to share with you that what was my fear. My fear was that whether people are going to accept me as a professor and as a beauty contest winner at the same time. This was my biggest fear at that time when I was participating in that particular pageant. But after that, when I won that competition, I realized that whatever you are going to what I can say show the rest of world, the world is going to see the same in you. So they not only loved me but respected me too. And what I guess can say, this was the biggest transformation in me. And I personally feel that uh, winning Mrs. India, I was not knowing that whether I am a beauty pageant material or not. But when I participated in that particular contest, I personally feel that a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets into hot water. So that beauty pageant actually served as a hot water for me. From there, it actually extracted all the essence from inside me, and I got the best version of myself. So I'm very happy that I'm carrying both the images simultaneously, becoming as a principal and as a beauty contest winner, as a formal Mrs. India.
That's amazing. So to still have that ambition and that drive to go, I wanted to do this as a child and I'm going to do it now. That you're never too late to kind of follow your dreams, but to acknowledge the risks and still think, okay, I can transform myself, I can learn a lot of myself about myself along the way is phenomenal. Did you face any criticism from your academic, your scientific colleagues for doing this? Was it, did you get did you feel that there were any issues around sexism or how you were being portrayed?
Yes, I do faced initially a lot. Faced a lot because that I told you that the both the images are different. The attire, the kind of lifestyle, the kind of behavior you has to have for the both is entirely different. In college, you got to wear some formal dresses, but when you are in a fashion field, you have to experiment with lots of attire. So attire was a big challenge and big problem in this which leads to lots of criticism that like, I am a professor, I should not do this, I should not wear these kind of clothes. These kind of criticism I faced. But that a particular platform gave me that privilege, or you can say that luxury, or being a principal gave me that luxury, so that I can put my words forward on the different platform and people do listen me. That platform gave me actually that privilege to be listened by people, so that neutralized all the disputes and all the complaints against me, so I can say this.
Do you think it changed some people's perceptions of science, of academia?
Yes. It changed perception of a lot of females who are following me on social media. or in the personal touch or in the personal touch with me. So they do ask me, ma'am, we are also preparing for this, how we can do. They actually taking me seriously as their mentor. So I used to tell them what to do, what not to do, how to do. So I'm kind of mentoring them. And here in India, a new trend starts, like on social media, everyone is with the teaching, they are into many things. They are exploring their hobbies and they are showing it off. Previously, females were scared that how can we share, I am a professor, how can I share inside out of me? So they are now fearless and a bit happy with these changing era.
Brilliant. So you're fueling the next generation of fearless women.
I can say that.
Amazing. So you've throughout your career, you've changed organizations. You've been quite mindful of the roles that you take. Can you tell us about some of the challenges that you have faced along the way and how you've overcome them?
Yes. If I talk about my professional career, from a lecturer to a principal, I faced a lot of challenges in my career cycle, in my life cycle, as many females must be facing the same. I can say that gender, many disparities are there, like gender inequality. We are not paid as equal to the males in the same field. Males are more preferred for these kind of jobs. So there is a disparity between the rather I can say disparity on the payments, and such kind of challenges I also faced in my career cycle also. And with that, uh, last people want or people, I can say the people in India expect perfection from the females, that a female should be perfect in every aspect. So the this call for perception, this perception of being perfect everywhere is the biggest challenge of mine in my life cycle.
So Reenu, you were very kind in inviting me to speak at an event that you were hosting last year on gender inequalities in science and education, and there were a few comments that I'd heard throughout the event, just scattered around, about how gender inequality isn't an issue, and that actually they didn't feel that we needed to have groups or mentoring for women in science and education. Are these comments that you hear quite often? Do you think this is true?
Maybe you heard that those kind of comments, but in India, I'm talking in Indian perspectives, I never heard these kind of comments, because I personally feel wherever I went with this particular phenomena or this particular concept, that having a group for the females in science and technology, or the female professionals in science and technology, or in pharmacy, I has been appraised everywhere. These particular things are appraised by everyone. In fact, I was giving many presentation in various institutions and colleges, but they all appreciated my efforts, because the concept of FIPWiSE was new. I think it's second year of FIPWiSE. So it is a new concept, and this particular concept was welcomed in India by everyone. So I think we need to raise more our voices, and we need to work upon it more and more as possible. Because maybe you heard that those comments that we don't need these kind of platforms, we don't need much women empowerment. But personally, I feel I am a small town girl. So personally, I feel women empowerment or these kind of gender inequality or equity problems differs area wise, or the country wise, or the location wise. If you visit big cities in India like Delhi or Bombay or any other big city, you will see that females are much educated. They are much aware of what their rights. They are having decision making capabilities in their families, and they are economically independent, right? But if you move to the rural places, or 10, 20 or 10 kilometers away from the urban area, you will see the actual place where still women empowerment or these kind of working groups are still required. So I feel the need of these kind of groups, and I think we are doing an appreciable job.
You certainly are. Well, I wanted to reflect a bit more on the pandemic. So the pandemic has hit India particularly hard. It sounds like you've managed to carve out some positivity in this. How has it impacted you and those around you?
Yes. As we all know that this pandemic has affected the world, all the world were in shock, a big shock. But this time it has badly affected in India. Even my few family members was not well in this pandemic time. But starting from the last year's pandemic time, as a teacher, we felt lots of challenges in this pandemic time, because we followed a strict lockdown, and we were totally dependent upon the technology, the online platforms. So we were not much aware with these we as we females are not much technology friendly, so we were not much aware with these kind of platforms. So we all learned all these platforms. It was the technology, the changing environment, and the technology was our first challenge which we faced. And then teaching, learning, and how much a student is grasping, or how much a student is attentive on a virtual platform, whether he is learning or not. Evaluating this was a big challenge. Examination procedure, evaluation procedure was also a big challenge for us, because if, even we conducted exams in online mode. So evaluation become a big challenge for us. So academically we face these kind of challenges, but personally we females, as in India, we always has house helps with our maids with us to help for the household work. But in the lockdown situation or in the pandemic situation, we were not having any house help. So we have to manage our family, our kids, our work online from the home. Everything we were managing and balancing, and we were trying to balance all the things at the same time, with the same energy, with the same perfection, and with the same kind of I can say the perfection. As I told you that in India, females are expected to be perfect everywhere. So we face these kind of challenges in the pandemic time.
That thought of trying to be perfect all the time is exhausting. Is that a standard that you hold yourself to? Do you feel you have to be perfect all the time?
No, I think we also need some freedom from this perception of this perception of to be perfect everywhere. I think we females also need some space or freedom, because in a family, talking about my childhood, my mom made me learn that a female has to learn everything. She should know cooking. At the same time, she should be good at studies also. So we females were expected a lot for doing things better in comparison to males. So this is a kind of a burden on us. So we also want to behave like males, like they can, if they can be careless, we also can be careless.
Maybe carefree. And is it the same now? So is there still the expectation of young girls to learn everything, whereas boys not so much, or do you feel that that's changing through the generations?
Yeah, nowadays, talking about this era is a bit more fast. The kids and the girls, females are a bit fast in this era. So I think the era is changing in India also. If I talk about 10 years back, the situation were different. But nowadays, situation is changing. Nowadays, like I'm a mother of a single girl child. If I talk 10 years back, this was not possible in India. Most people, even my mom says, have one boy at least. So male domination is always there. So but talking about now era, things are changing, and I believe and I expect that things are going to better in next 10 years.
Marvelous. And it sounds like you're doing everything you can to make that happen. Who do you feel has helped you, or what has helped you most in your career?
Yeah, I give all the credit to my father that he actually showed me the right path of choosing the pharmacy as a profession. And he was the biggest critic in my life, that he first of all critic me that you did this thing right or you did this thing wrong, and suggest me how I can be better and better in my career. So my father was the biggest support in my life. Even till now, at the age of 38, I take advice from my father, and all the times, I don't know how, all the times fathers are right.
You must be incredibly proud. And you're very successful both in your academic career, but clearly outside of your academic career with your Mrs. India success. Success isn't a solo sport. Who is there anyone that you'd like to shine a light on who has helped you to achieve your success?
Yeah, my mother is behind all my success, because one can achieve everything in the career, but the lust for being myself, lust for fulfill your dreams and desire was in me. But my mother motivated to do whatever I wish to do in my life. In my mother was an uneducated woman, but I think she was the greatest example of empowered women in this country, in India, because she was the one who was economically independent, and yet she was illiterate. She was uneducated woman. So I feel I drained all my energy from my mother. She actually taught me how to make balance between your personal and professional life. So I think my mother is the greatest motivation in my life.
Oh, phenomenal. And what advice would you give your, say, 25-year-old self, or even your daughter?
Yeah, I gave myself one advice, that be patient. Everything will come to you, but first of all, you have to hard work with calmness and patience. And whenever you feel fear, you have to remember all the strength you are having inside. And one more advice I want to give myself is the and or I want to convey a message to our today's generation who are crossing 25 years age, that leadership is one quality that every female must possess. That quality is lacking from last few years. I can see we have in India, we had many great leaders like Indira Gandhi in politics also, but from last few years, I cannot see any strong personality like her. So leadership skill is still lacking. So I'll advise even to myself to become or acquire all the skills of a good and successful leader.
So this is called the FIPWiSE and Fearless podcast, and there's a couple of reasons for that. You know, we all need to be more brave in the things that we do and the decisions we make through our careers. And every morning before my daughter Maya goes to preschool, I don't tell her to be good. I say have fun and be fearless. And she now seems to be a regular appearance on the FIPWiSE and Fearless podcast. So she's going to ask the next question.
Hi, Reenu. When have you been fearless?
Yes, when I thought of becoming Mrs. India, I was in a big fear because I never walked the ramp before. I was not a professional model. But when I became fearless, I truly rocked the ramp. Actually, before entering into this competition, my choreographer or my trainers were saying, Reenu, you're underconfident. But when I actually walked the ramp, they came to me and gave me that compliment. Today you rocked. So at that time, I became fearless, and as a result, I won that competition.
Amazing. And, you know, it sounds like you're doing an awful lot in terms of mentoring, being a role model with an emphasis on the model piece there. How are you using your power, your platform, your privilege to make things better for other women in science and education?
Yeah, firstly, I want to tell you that I has been associated with the social work from last 2-3 years when I won the Mrs. India competition, and I was uh, on a reputed post of a dean or a principal of a college. Every right or every awards or every appreciations comes with the lots of responsibility. Then I felt the same sense of responsibility in myself too. So I started working on the two fronts. Basically, I started my social work at two fronts: one on the personal level, on and second one on the institutional level, or on with my professional capabilities. So first of all, I want to summarize some work which I am doing on my personal level, and that is I'm running a women health empowerment campaign. In that campaign, me and my team of doctors, we go to the rural village area, and we kind of counsel the females for and tell them importance of having a good hygiene, and about the different diseases, about their how which kind of nutrition they have to take. So I personally feel in India, females never take care of themselves. So this is the problem here. We identified their problem, and we went to village and counseling the women for having a good hygiene or having a good nutrition. With that, I adopted one girl child, and I'm bearing her all the expenses for her education, and I'm promoting girl child education in India. So these are some noble work which I'm doing in the field of women empowerment or women health empowerment. I'm talking about my professional as my professional capability, what I am doing for women in science and education. So as a principal, I'm organizing many sensitization programs. I'm going institute to sensitize females about their issues, and provoke them or motivate them to talk about that. Because as I told you, in India, no one actually talks about that we female are having some issues, or their gender disparities are there, or gender inequalities are there. So we females generally don't talk about this. So I'm personally doing this work, that I'm going to motivate the females, young females. I'm mentoring them, and I'm organizing many kind of workshops, many webinars, and many seminars to sensitize on this particular topic. So these are my few works, or which I am doing as on my personal and professional capabilities.
That's wonderful. Where can people find out more about your Women Health Empowerment campaign, and also find out more about you?
If you will Google me, my social media accounts are there. So wherever I go, I advise people that message me on my social media account, or you can write me on my institution address, or anytime I'm available on phone, although I don't distribute my personal number publicly, but for few organization, I'm available 24/7. So I'm all time available on the social media.
Oh, marvelous. Thank you so much for joining us today, and for everything that you do in empowering and inspiring future leaders. Keep being fearless.
Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot once again, the FIPWiSE team, for giving me this platform to share my journey with you. Thanks a lot.
Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure. Thank you, Reenu.
Thank you.